All right. Okay, everyone. So I have a very special guest with me today coming out of London, England. He goes by the name of Alexander Osman. He's a filmmaker. We're promoting his film today titled Sitting Pretty. How are you, Alexander?
Great. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. I'm good. Thank you.
So currently the film is in post-production.
You know, actually, the film has just started going out to some festivals, yeah, it's already a finalist actually at one of them, and I think we're in 2 or 3 already. I have to double check with the producer on that, but yeah, he told me we're a finalist already in one of them. So yeah, it's only been getting released to festivals, I think, for maybe a few weeks now, like 3 or 4 weeks max.
Very nice. Okay, so you guys are already contenders in some film festivals. Can I ask you how many you applied to? Because a lot of people don't realize this in the filmmaking industry. You got to apply to many just so you can try to get into the ones that you know you might actually want to get into. How many did you apply to?
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on there. Even the the most successful films, the success rate is dependent to a large degree on how many you applied to. Again, I should have come better prepared. I apologize. I'm not entirely sure how many so far. The producer, George King, is doing most of the festival stuff. I have done some of it. I think maybe let's say about 15 maybe at the moment. And I think so far it's like 40% success rate. Which is pretty amazing actually, and I don't.
It's so difficult even to say. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but even with these festivals, you have so many films being made. Sometimes it's not about the film not being a good film; it's just about a numbers thing. Sometimes it's not conducive to what they might be, thematically trying to shoot for that year. There's so many things that you have to sort of just weed out through so you can get that film out there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're totally right. It's it's tough. It's tough for festival programmers. I've spoken to many of them, and I try to go to as many festivals. Obviously, not in the last year. I've hardly been to any, but before the whole COVID thing took over the world, getting out there and talking to the guys and who are running these festivals. And yeah, you're right. I mean, people shouldn't take it to heart if they don't get picked necessarily. It's nothing to do with necessarily the quality of the film. Sometimes it can just be the timing, like you said, it can be the themes, the genre, but actually it can just be the timing as well sometimes, if you come late or your film's maybe a bit too long for the slot they got left or not long enough. I mean, there's just so many factors that contribute to getting picked or not. So absolutely, it doesn't necessarily mean that you haven't got a cracking film there just because you didn't get into a particular festival.
Absolutely. Now, that being said, Alexander, what is your role on the film? You're the director. Can you talk about your role in the project?
Yeah, so my role, I came aboard as originally as to direct, and when we got to kind of looking at the script in detail and talking to the producer, and some of the other team helping to put it together. We realized that kind of the script was really too long. It's interesting, we were just talking about timing, but and so we decided that I would take that on and kind of rewrite. So I took the original script and did a kind of a new version of it, if you like. I tried to keep the essence of what it is. So whereas I wouldn't say I wrote it, I definitely kind of created the screenplay that we shot, if you like. So it was a joint effort there between myself and the original writer.
Very interesting. Now, how much was it shortened afterwards? And it's nice to hear that you were able to do that with the writer. Not a lot of times when you have to jump on and do these timely projects, you can't really have that one-on-one, and you have to do what you can.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I didn't do it with the writer, but I think he was happy with it. I don't think he was upset that it was, but I mean, I literally cut it in half, to be honest with you. And it was,
that happens very often, by the way. If that's surprising to some people, that happens. That happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I think it was close to 30 pages, maybe even a bit more, when the producer had picked it up. And, you know, when we looked at the budget and the timing for everything, there was just no way that was going to happen. So, yeah, it was chopped right down. And, you know, I think, dare I say, better for it. But I don't know if everyone would agree.
You were brought in to go ahead and accomplish this process and go ahead and expedite the film. And I think you did exactly that. You shortened it. You said, what can we do to go ahead and get this out right here, right now, today, and let's move forward. And that's what you did. And if anything, if you guys want to bring out some extra stuff, I'm sure the writer has lots of material you could bring out, but you did what you had to have the film get put out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
How large was your team with the production?
Well, it's a good question. It was a reasonable sized crew that we had. I mean, there's four. It's a four-parter. There's four actors in it. You know, which was what was quite nice about the original script. It was all in one location. It's shot outside. It's all in one location. So it was, you know, that was really, really good. That was what was kind of also made it kind of feel achievable in a short amount of time. As you know, budgets are tight with these types of productions. I don't know what the crew size was, in all honesty, but maybe like, I don't know, like 15 or so, something like that. You know,
you saying that it was in an intimate setting and sorry to interrupt, Alexander. You saying that it was in a small scenario and it was just four actors. You know, I think we can get an understanding of what that environment was like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, four cast, two guys, two girls, and yeah, literally one location. We shot the whole thing in the Bedfordshire countryside, which is not far from London. It's maybe an hour and a half drive out of London. We found a kind of nice remote spot, which is what the script required. And yeah, I think we had a few pickup days, but the primary shooting was I think we did 3 days or maybe 4 days, you know, with the core cast and crew, and then myself and the DP and a few one or two of the cast went back there to just do some pickups and things for like half a day. So, but yeah, it was good. It's a good discipline to have, you know, a single location for this type of film.
Absolutely. You have one place, you don't have all that variety. Necessity is the mother of all creation. So when you have one place to work with, you really get creative with it. Now, what was it like working with your actors and directing them for the process, for the first day and on the last day? You know, the first day is always the best.
It's funny you should say. Yeah, I don't know the first day is the best. I guess it is in some ways. I also find that often the first day, you know, you can get yourself kind of, you think you've got lots of time, so maybe you give off a lot of time to kind of technical things and change this camera or change the lighting and, you know, yada yada and these types of things, and then you suddenly turn around and you're like, oh, hold on, we haven't really got so much time. So, you know, sometimes the first day is the best. It's certainly the freshest, and it was great. The actors were really good. Really good crew, quite international. We had a Russian and a Japanese and two English actors. Wow. So really mixed crew. The last day was crazy because we shot outside, and you know, even though we had cover for taking rest and for lunch breaks and breaks and things, there was a covered space. It was really. You probably don't believe this over in the States, but it can get quite hot in the UK. And we had some pretty hot weather. It was shot in the middle of the summer, and so it was really exhausting. We were doing long days, and yeah, the last day, particularly kind of moving towards the evening, we had some beautiful light coming in the sort of late afternoon, early evening lights. But I do remember at one point everybody was just completely exhausted, and it took a moment. We had to just take a moment just to kind of remember where the hell we were and what was going on. So, yeah.
How fortunate of you guys.
Huh?
How fortunate of you guys to get that kind of weather out there that day when you were filming.
Yeah, I mean it's good, but it's tricky as well. It can prove problematic because we get, you know, we do get, you know, beautiful cloudless days, but even in the summer you can get clouds, so you have very mixed shooting conditions where you're dealing with you know, cloud and then open sky and cloud and open sky. So
Continuity.
You know, yeah, continuity can be a problem, and because of the commitment of the actors, and particularly one of them who was from overseas, she had to had a schedule, so we couldn't shoot, you know, in order of the script, which usually kind of helps deal with any of that continuity issue. If you're shooting through it, it kind of works. But yeah, we had a slightly odd kind of schedule for the shoot as well, which didn't help. But you know, I think we made a virtue of that in post, and I don't think it's something that you'd necessarily pick out unless you had it. Well, if you had a real eye for it, you probably would. But you know, hopefully we made that into a bit of a virtue in our kind of treatment and the coloration that we used. So
Absolutely. And back to the diversity, you said you had a Russian and someone Japanese and also English people in your film. So that's really awesome. Did you fly them in from Russia and Japan? Were they local to the area?
oh man, if we had the budget to fly them in only. Yeah, no, luckily, I mean, London's a pretty cosmopolitan town, and we have you know, people from all over staying in London, and particularly actors and people in the film industry, and so it's a great mix. It's a great kind of melting pot of cultures and ideas and people. So yeah, those two, although the Japanese, or she's half Japanese and half French, I think, or something. She had to get back to Japan and do some stuff, so that was why we were stuck for time. And our Russian lady actor was actually living in North London at the time, so that all worked out. Luckily, we didn't have to spring for any airfares for anyone, because that probably would have killed the whole budget.
Right place, right time. Very nice. That's awesome, Alexander.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, moving forward from here, what are you guys focusing on with the film to go ahead and have it accomplish what you desire from it? It's you said it's competing, it's out there, and you sent it to film festivals, and there's about 2 or 3 already who have responded with positive results and reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's you know, you always want it to do as well as possible. You want it to get seen by as many people as possible. I know the original writer has it was originally written as part of a feature-length story. So, you know, I should imagine he's pretty keen for that to happen, and the producer too, to sort of bring that all together and get some real interest in that, which I think it has a really, you know, there is a great kind of character sort of backstory in that could be brought forth into a full-length feature. You know, obviously you just want to kind of get out there and get seen by as many people at this point as possible, make as many connections around it, try and build up some people that are interested in seeing more of that. And I think, you know, hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, you know, this COVID virus is keeping everybody kind of locked up and everybody on Zoom all the time. You know, will go away soon, and we can actually go and do some festivals in person as well, because I think that's, you know, for me, that's a great part of it. You know, when you've got a film at a festival, when you go and meet other filmmakers and producers and the people running the festival and the audiences, and really get to talk to people about, you know, what they're doing, and they see their reaction live to what you've done. I think that's, you know, that's a really special experience for me. So I'm hoping we get back to that soon as possible, but in the meantime, you know, we'll carry on with our online festivals, and you know, try and do as much like we're doing now, kind of, you know, digital interaction as possible.
Doing what we can to keep promoting filmmaking and films, because, you know, there's still great films being made, and we have to go ahead and promote them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for doing that as well. It's good on you, man.
Thank you, Alexander. I really appreciate you for giving me your words and just giving us a little bit of the process of what it was like shooting the film Sitting Pretty. I really appreciate you for your time. Maybe we can get you on again in the future and follow up with, what you've brought into fruition. The film's out there in festivals, and how can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram. I think it's at Alexander Osman. And there's a Facebook page that I should know off the top. I think it's Alexander Osman Film on Facebook. So yeah, feel free to connect through social media, and Vimeo as well. I think it's Vimeo again, probably just /Alexander Osman. Very, very simple. Hopefully not too common. You can find that, and yeah, there's the trailer for Sitting Pretty up there as well, and you can find it, I think, via the bio page on my Instagram as well. So if not, I will check and I will put it up there so that people can see the trailer for it. Pleasure. Nice.
Okay.
One. Thank you for having me.
All right. Talk soon. Take care.
Right. Cheers, brother.